Let me ask you a question honestly. Why does the Sabbath make people uncomfortable? It's just a day, right? Just a commandment, just a tradition. So why does it stir up so much tension, even among believers? Why do people debate it? Why do people avoid it? Even resist it? There must be something going on. And the Bible actually reveals what that is. The Sabbath is not just about rest. It's a sign between God and his people. Exodus 31, verse 13 reads, "Speak also to the children of Israel, saying, Surely my Sabbaths you shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that you may know that I am the Lord who sanctifies you." So what does this sign point to? Let's break it down simply. Let's pause and ask a simple question. What does it mean that the Sabbath is a sign? A sign shows relationship. It's a visible reminder of something deeper. And the Hebrew word for sign is oath. Oath means a mark, a signal, something that identifies. So when God calls the Sabbath a sign, he is saying, this identifies my people. So the Sabbath is not just a day. It's about identity. The Sabbath shows that you belong to God. Listen again. Exodus 31 verse 13 reads, "It is a sign between me and you." That's relationship language. Now think about it. A wedding ring shows someone is married. A uniform shows what team you belong to. In the same way, the Sabbath is God's sign that you are his. It's not just about religion. It's about relationship. Now, let's go deeper. What does the Sabbath remind us of? Creation. Genesis chapter 2 verses 1, 2, and 3 reads, "Thus the heavens and the earth and all the hosts of them were finished. And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had done. And he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because in it he rested from all his work which God had created and made." This was before sin. This was before pain, before anything went wrong. So why did God set apart the Sabbath? Because it points back to the beginning. But here's something powerful. The Bible makes it clear. Jesus is the creator. John chapter 1 verse 3 reads, "All things were made through him." Colossians 1 verse 16 reads, For by him all things were created. So when we are talking about creation, we are talking about Jesus. That means the one who made the Sabbath is the same one who walked among us and the same one who died on the cross for us. But here is something deeper. The Sabbath commandment itself carries the signature of Jesus. Exodus chapter 20 verse 11 reads, "For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them." A true signature or a seal has 3 parts: a name, a title, and a territory. And right here in the 4th commandment, the name, the Lord, the title, creator of heaven and earth, and the territory, heaven, earth, the sea, and all that is in them. This is the only commandment that contains all 3. The Sabbath is not random. It is God's signature, God's sign. It is Christ's mark of authority as creator. So the Sabbath doesn't only remind us that God created the universe. The Sabbath reminds us that Jesus is our creator. It reminds us that Jesus is our creator and we belong to him. And every week, the Sabbath reminds us that Jesus made us. Our lives have purpose, and we belong to our Creator. Let's go even deeper. Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 12. It reads, "Moreover, I also gave them my Sabbaths to be a sign between them and me, that they might know that I am the Lord who sanctifies them." Sanctify simply means that God makes you holy, not you making you holy, God making you holy. So every Sabbath becomes a reminder that you don't save yourself. You don't change yourself. God is the one doing the work, not you. It's not about earning salvation. It's about trusting him. Now listen carefully. Deuteronomy chapter 5 verse 15 says, "And remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and the Lord your God, brought you out." Don't miss this. Don't miss this. The Lord or God or Jesus connects the Sabbath to deliverance. Israel did not set themselves free. God rescued them. They were slaves, but God became their liberator. And the one who led them out of Egypt in the pillar of cloud by day and in the pillar of fire by night was Christ himself. So the Sabbath is not just saying, "I created you." It's also saying, "I rescued you." Egypt represents slavery. For us, that slavery is sin. And just like Israel could not free themselves, we cannot save ourselves. So the Sabbath becomes a declaration. Jesus is my Redeemer. Jesus is my liberator. Jesus is my Redeemer. 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 Jesus is Every Sabbath reminds us, I am not saved by my works, but by the power of Jesus. The same Jesus who created you is the same one who saves you. Now, here is where it gets serious. The Sabbath reveals God's authority. Now think about it. The fourth commandment is the only commandment that identifies God as the Lord, the Creator of heaven and earth. It contains His name, His title, and His territory. The Sabbath is like God's signature. It shows who has the right to rule. And that's why it becomes a point of tension, because it answers the question, who do I follow? Who has authority over my life? Now, think about it. Out of all the 10 commandments, only one of them begins with this word. Remember. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Exodus 20 verse 8. Why would God say remember? Because He knew it would be forgotten. And isn't it interesting that the only commandment that says remember has become the one most people forget? Not always rejected openly, but slowly replaced, overlooked, or misunderstood. Because this commandment points directly to God as Creator, Redeemer, and God as authority. So if the enemy can obscure this command, he obscures who God is. So now, we begin to understand something important. The Sabbath is not just a day. It is a sign that points to Jesus. A sign of relationship because you belong to Him. A sign of creation because He is the Creator. A sign of redemption because He is the Redeemer. A sign of liberation because He sets you free. A sign of authority because He is the Lord. So this is not just about a command. This is about Christ. And that's exactly why it becomes controversial. Because at its core, it's about loyalty. Who do I stand with? Who do I follow? But many people don't realize this. This struggle did not start on earth, not in churches, not in denominations. It started in heaven. A question was raised. Who has authority? Who should we worship? And who deserves loyalty? And at the center of it all was Jesus. But what if that question never really ended? What if it is still happening today? And what if you are already part of it?